Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate the gesture, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a watch that was much heralded back in 2016, but rarely seen because when most people order an Overseas, they order the Chrono. This is the Overseas Automatic, reference 4500V in stainless steel, a gorgeous and versatile watch. This is a full-fisted punch with brass knuckles directed straight at the jaw of the Aquanaut 5167 1A and the Royal Oak 15400. This is a watch that could even replace an Overseas. It's that versatile. 41 millimeters in stainless steel. It's an absolute pleasure on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's also relatively slim, as you'll find 11.2 millimeters thick with a sloped Maltese cross-profile bezel. You will find it slides underneath not just the jacket cuff, but the dress sleeve beneath. Lug-to-lug, it's fairly compact. You're going to measure this one at 48.9 millimeters. So even if you've got a smaller wrist down to 14 centimeters in circumference, you're going to want to try this watch on. The fit, the feel, the ergonomics, and the stance are all sensational for a smaller wrist. Remember, the Overseas Chrono is 42.5. This one's 41 in diameter. It has more wrist presence, but unlike a Royal Oak, despite being an integrated bracelet and case profile, it doesn't wear larger than its nominal measurement. You will note that the bracelet is nicely sculpted so it arcs around the curve of your wrist. And how impressive is this? Not only is the bracelet fixed to the case with screws, but every individual link is removable. So you can really drill down and tailor both sides of the bracelet to find the perfect fit, removing each individual link until you find just right. Now, the bracelet's beautifully made. As you can see, it's a combination of the kind of thoughtful design with the integrated Maltese cross-center link and the fine finish that you would expect on a Patek or an Audemars Piguet, but you're getting it with the flexibility of the Vacheron. This watch features quick-release lugs, so you can immediately remove the entire bracelet and swap out the leather strap, also included with the watch, and the rubber strap, also included with the watch. You get all three, including a full steel deployant clasp to use with the straps. Tremendous versatility, and you'll want that because you can dress it up, dress it down, put it on rubber, take it in the water. 150 meters water resistant. This is a surf and turf full timer. You'll also note the underside of the bracelet with large scalloped portions between the individual links. It will not pinch skin or pull hair, and the clasp is quite secure when closed, featuring twin trigger release, so you must positively squeeze both to open this up. Now, going back to the case, you can see it's thoughtfully finished. A few features have changed. The biggest change compared to the second generation watch is that there is now a bezel plinth. So rather than having the bezel mounted directly to the top of the case, there is a finished and rounded staging point that acts as an intermediary between bezel and case. It creates a visually more imposing stance for the bezel itself. The case is large, cushion profiled, and as with every Overseas since 1996, it's evocative of the 1977 Vacheron reference 222 sports watch. Moving inboard, you can see that the dial itself, and we're going to give ourselves some more light here because this dial is difficult to describe if you've only seen internet photos. It's not a sunburst, and it's barely metallic. What it appears to be is some sort of black polished metal base that's been coated with a layer of translucent blue lacquer. It has an incredible lustrous depth to it, a gleam and a gloss, almost like enamel, and I would compare it to another well-known blue dial, also sold by a Geneva brand of stature, but I would probably be giving away too many clues as to the potential origin of this exact dial. You'll note that all of the dial furniture is in white gold, and the watch is robustly loomed. White gold hands, white gold indices. Outboard, there is a somewhat glossy blue Rayhawk that is pure gloss blue. It's a different blue than the dial center, and it's a non-metallic. Some folks have asked, why is it calibrated in fractions of a second? It's not a chronograph. Well, I can only assume because the watch itself can keep time to 1/8 of a second, so why not calibrate the bezel accordingly? The timepiece features a quick set date. The one feature it does not have, curiosity, is the hacking seconds function. That's okay though, we can forgive it because this watch is so chock-a-block with features. Everything from Geneva seal finishing on the movement, and we should mention, this is the first time Vacheron has used an in-house caliber, a Geneva seal caliber, and a visible caliber with display caseback on an Overseas. But you'll note that not only do you get the quick set date, the 150 meter water resistance, the superb 60-hour Powell reserve, the engraved, not stamped, golden winding mass with compass rose pattern, but you get Geneva hallmark finish on the movement and the case. That's right, since 2012, this is a full case standard, which is why you see the Poinçon de Genève on both the case and the caliber. They're both finished to the new standard. You'll also note when I turn the watch flush to the camera that there is a richly textured set of perfectly aligned Côte de Genève across the bridges. This is laid down with an abrasive wheel not stamped. Likewise, and I'll see if I can show this to advantage, you can see that mirrored anglage on the edge of every bridge, rounded, optically smooth, laid down by hand, not a machined bevel. And finally, on the cap of the regulator as well as every screw head, black polish, the highest standard of optical finish, which is why in most directions it reflects no light, appearing black, hence the name poly noir or black polish. Let's see if we can get even a little bit closer and keep everything in focus. Now the movement is beautifully executed and there is more nuance and more detail than I've mentioned, but I should explain how it is that a watch with an open caseback maintains the 25,000 ampere per meter anti-magnetism of the generations 1 and 2 Overseas. It's by using a paramagnetic ring around the caliber. It literally channels, paramagnetic means it attracts magnetism, it attracts those field lines and channels them around the movement beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour remains unaffected. 150 meter water resistance with screw down crown means this one can go head to head not just with a Nautilus, not just with an Aquanaut, but even a Royal Oak offshore. You have to upgrade to an offshore diver before you get more water resistance than this in an AP offshore. Unidirectional winding for efficiency with high-tech ceramic rotor bearings. Vacheron is making sure to include all contemporary standards. A beautifully executed watch with a bewitching dial and a movement to match. You can see and own this Generation 3 Overseas Automatic on the watch box. And I'm back with the Generation 3 Overseas. As you can see, the G3 big and blue by day, big and blue by night. Make this one yours on the watch box.